Hi everyone. I just wanted to talk to you about the job satisfaction at any type of organization. So I just want to let you know about my experience working at this particular job. Those who know me know what I'm talking about. That place can get you very depleted. So my experience there was, at first I knew that I would come out of work very exhausted, and I felt with lack of motivation. And I loved what I did, caring for people and providing the services that they needed. I was content with that and working with amazing coworkers. But what happened is, over time, I unconsciously didn't know that I was having some changes in my behavior. For example, at home, I was sleeping more. I was almost withdrawing. These red flags, withdrawing from people. I stopped reading books that I enjoyed. I stopped exercising. I stopped doing everything that I love to do. And I didn't realize it was that bad until my husband. He noticed that I was, more irritable, more withdrawn. And not until he provided that space, that perspective of, of course, communicating with me in a calmly and an effective manner where I didn't feel offensive when he told me this information. So I was able to listen to him, and it didn't hit me. I guess you're like in denial when you're working at a place where you're not happy and you're unappreciated, not valued. The morale is low everywhere in the organization. And so as time progressed, I felt even worse. My self-care, my mental health care was very low, to the point where I just didn't want to go to this job setting anymore. I was driving on my way to work crying. And when I was at work, it seemed like I was in autopilot. I was functional. I was able to do whatever I needed to do to get the work done. Then, after I would leave from work, I would just drive home crying. And I just want to let people know that, you know, if you're not happy at a place, time is very valuable. Try to make some wise choices to get yourself out of that place where you feel trapped, stuck, overwhelmed, overworked, unappreciated. And change is hard. I know. And because I went through it, I didn't want to go through that change. I didn't want to get a new job, didn't want to apply and submit applications, go to interviews, right? When you start thinking about, what am I going to do next, right? It's just overwhelming to think about the things that you have to do to better yourself. At that point, I was working there. I lost myself. I didn't know who I was anymore. What was my passion? I became numb, which is scary, because I love what I did, but the passion wasn't there anymore. And so it took me a long time to process what was going on. And I stayed at that company for too long, 3 years. I started probably noticing that it wasn't right for me since the beginning, but at the time it served a purpose for me. I was going to graduate school, and I was working two jobs and trying to make things work for me. And now that I have graduated with my master's in social work, I feel that it's okay. Sometimes we have this mentality that, okay, after I graduate from master's program, I'm going to land a good job and my dream job. That was my perspective, and I sure was wrong. So now I am, you know, at that time, I was just going for it. I said, I have to make a change. I have to reflect and talk to myself and say, what really makes you happy? What are you going to do? Because we all have the power to change our situation. No one's going to come in the door and say, Veronica, it seems like this job ain't working for you, so it's time for you to look for a job. No, you have to always kind of evaluate yourself. Am I happy here? Am I enjoying this workplace? And if you are, I'm proud of you, because it took a lot for you to get there. Now, little did I know that quitting that job, I was going to land into a more toxic work environment. My mind was blown. I was like, I cannot believe what is going on. The first 2 weeks when I got to that employment, it was fine. Sometimes they sugarcoat things during the interview that makes you want to take that job. And I did. I didn't know that I was going to work in that level of acuity, first of all, which is different, and makes it more harder to engage people that way, if you know what I mean. So then I landed at that job, and as time passed, I got to see how the colleagues really are with each other. And it was to the point that it became so toxic. Every time someone left out of the office, because imagine 8 people cramped in an office. Not only is it steamy hot, they don't even have a good air conditioner, but 8 people working together, professionals. And every time someone got up from their chair, came back in, they were talking about each other. I'm like, I came from a place, from a past previous job, that I love my coworkers. Of course, there were some hiccups at times that needed to be addressed, which they were addressed in a professional manner. But over here, I just couldn't believe my eyes. So then what happens is that as time went by, there was lack of training, there was lack of support, and I felt like I was begging to be trained. If you ever experience that, it is the loneliest feeling that someone can experience at a job setting, a lack of training. And I am a type of person, people who work with me and know how I work, I am detail oriented. I like to teach people everything that they need to know about a job so that they're efficient and so that they are confident in their skills. So I'm over here in this different type of setting where everyone is in their own island. And I'm here trying to figure things out on my own, and it's not working out. And so those are some red flags. This is like my second week at this new job. My third and fourth, and then as time went by, it just got even worse. And so something did happen to me recently where, about 3 weeks ago, I was called into HR, and they told me that they made a mistake on the audit on my pay rate. So I had signed something that my pay rate was going to be a certain amount, and now they're saying that there was a mistake, and that not to, that someone audited how much money people been making, and that I was making more than people that been there longer, and that was an issue, and that they were going to decrease my pay rate. And so that day I felt very devastated. I felt very sad because not only do you not give me an advance notice, you just let me know right there and then. So guys, I had to call my husband, and I told him about what was going on. And that Friday was a very horrible day for me because not only did I come to work with my desk being moved and did not know where my desk was, and I was working in a small desk. Could you believe that? I felt so cramped that place didn't accommodate my needs, and now after 4 months they try to get a better desk for me, a bigger, better desk. Anyways, that didn't happen because it didn't work out for me. And I heard some things about, because I was gonna go 2 days off somewhere, and when I came back, certain people in the office said that there was lack of communication between tasks, and didn't know so and so was going to be discharged, and I had left some instructions there. So just that place was something that I don't wish it upon anybody, because it's a terrible experience, because there's lack of communication everywhere you go and talk to a different department, and the lack of communication is there. And I've come from a place where we communicated with each other and talked about our struggles or ways with each other, with how to get things done as a team. And over here they lack that. So to make the story shorter, I resigned with the help and support of my husband, because I noticed not only things that I seen in the beginning, in the middle of my transition as in a new place, but this this is self-care. You're worth more than putting up with everything that's going on. Your mental health is very important. So I decided to resign from that place at will, and I'm happy that I did it. Now I'm at a place where I'm happy, I'm content. I did apply for a on-call position at hospice, which I love hospice. It's a beautiful working environment, and I'm doing that, and I'm doing some other work, and soon to start a new part-time slash full-time a full-time job with private practice. So I'm very content, and reflecting back on the decisions that I made, and I just want to let you know that you're worth it, and that your mental health is priority. And even though we're in situations where we don't see the light, we don't see the answers right away, that just trusting in your higher being and trusting that things are gonna be okay. Because yes, I was sad, I was crying, I was like devastated. I just wanted it not to be true. I came to work thinking that I was going to continue working, and that never happened. And so things happen for a reason. So just follow your heart, and see you until next time.